Hey YouTube, I just want to take a moment to tell you about this thing I got recently. This is a 1960s Hammond T-212. Now for those of you who know Hammonds will know that this is a transistor organ. It's only got one switch and thus it's a piece of shit, right? Well, I don't believe in that line of thinking. I think it's a pretty good organ. So it's got a bunch of features of a regular Hammond in the sense that it's got all the drawbars, you know, and so you can get all these cool sounds out of it. Like any Hammond, you can change all the settings real time. So, you know, let's hold up C chord. And that's all of them. So yeah. It's unlike a B3 in the sense that you have this split keyboard, so it's more like an M3 or any one of the M series keyboards. And I'm alright with the split keyboard because two full keyboards makes for a very large Hammond. It has a rotary speaker inside, sort of like a Leslie, but it's not its own unit. And so you can play around with that. It's got two speeds, fast and slow. And you have you got a whole bunch of pedals down here, like a whole octave, and you have a, you know, and so that's basically a bass pedal thing down there. In addition to that, one of the coolest features of this is probably this reiterate feature here. Now, why is a reiterate feature cool? Two words, Baba O'Reilly. You know, you can vary up the speed of the repeater. And if you settle in right about there, you can get this. Repeater is very cool. And so the repeater is basically, what it does is you have a bunch of these percussion paddles up here in addition to your drawbars and presets. And any Hammond purist would know that a real Hammond will have percussion features on there, and this Hammond does. Which, you know, you wouldn't think a cheap little transistor organ that would basically be bought for free would have. So, you know, you can have different emphases in different places, and basically the whole thing with percussion is that when you play it, it decays like a synth, sort of, or a regular old piano. So if I play it, whoops, if I play it, it has a decay to it. It goes away, unlike the rest of the stuff which just hangs around as long as you're holding the key. And you can play them by themselves, which is cool for some effects, but even better than that, you can play it along with your drawbars. So you can put, say, one of the percussions along with your drawbars and get a much better sound. You know, you can get a cool percussion is one of the cool features. You also have a nice vibrato, which you can use. I don't use it often, just because I like using the Leslie most of the time. But it adds a nice vibrato effect to your. And there are variations on the vibrato. You have, you know, a lessened vibrato. You have a vibrato chorus, which I think detunes some of the tone wheels in there. Makes the note a little bit more out of, you know, more chorusy, if you will, like a 12-string guitar, for example. And then you have these two vibrato celestas, and I'm not sure exactly what they do, as opposed to regular vibrato. So I never use those. It's got a reverb unit that sort of works. You can't hear it, doesn't matter. A lot of the features I think are really stupid on here, like, you know, the brilliance button. It just adds a little more high end, and I guess that's kind of useful, but you can normally do that just with your tone bars here. Volume soft is kind of useful if you just want to play quietly. If you're not going for a whole room, you just want to soften up the sound, or you want to start softer, so you can have more swell with your volume pedal down there. You don't have to use the drawbars either. You can use these presets. You know, like here's my drawbars. But you can use the presets. This one says strings. This one says full. This one says theater brass. You know, they're just different options for you. For the lower manual, you have the option of drawbars. And then another one reads ensemble. I'm not sure exactly what it does, but in general, this keyboard has a lot of cool stuff. What I want to do is chop it so that I can fit it into a keyboard case, or, you know, just so it's lighter and I can take it places and hook it up to an amp. Maybe create a Leslie out of the system that's already in there. You know, because as it stands, it's like 300 pounds, and you need a lot of people to lift it. Sacrifice right there. Not all the features work on this particular organ. There's this like cymbal brush pedal thing which doesn't work at all. But it's just a really cool organ, and so I think this organ kind of defies what people say about these stupid transistor organs that don't have tubes in them, they only have one switch, you know. I don't know. I sort of believe it. I've never played on a real B3, but I think for what it is, this one sounds pretty darn good, you know. Really good sound. That's all for that. See you later.